Right, so Justin Trudeau just can't keep it together, and I'm sure most people have heard up at this point. But so yesterday he was at the NATO summit in London. I believe it's London where Buckingham Palace is. But anyways, he got caught. I don't know if it was a hidden camera or they just didn't notice the camera was going, but basically the whole story was Trudeau is basically bad mouthing Trump after the summit, I believe it was, and it looked really bad on him. Now, it may not have been his intention to make it come off as bad as it did, but nevertheless, it came off really bad. And after the event, I don't know when it was, but Trump was made aware of the comments, and Trump called Trudeau two-faced. And obviously, I think that's two different references. Number one, the blackface, and that's I think blatantly obvious. And number two, the fact that he's the kind of guy that he's nice to your face, but he's gonna talk crap behind your back kind of person. And it's increasingly being compared to like the high school, clicky kind of high school girl situation that I think people in big schools probably especially went through. Um, so that's kind of the whole thing, and there's a lot of different aspects to this story. The first one being is that for Canadians, it was a major screw up, and anyone like even if let just for this little bit, let's set politics aside and be like, as Canadians, the states are our biggest trading partner, and as much as Trudeau wants to make it the communist Chinese, completely overlooking the fact that they have a million Muslims in literal concentration camps, not AOC make believe ones. They're torturing those people. I mean, they're oppressing pretty much their entire population. I mean, they don't even let them have the internet, and when they do get the internet, it's heavily censored. They're literally being monitored with everything they do. They don't have hardly any freedoms. So I mean, that's the country that, and keep in mind too, that's the country that Justin Trudeau most admires. And that's one thing that really bothers me is that conservatives tend to make fun of people on the left as being commies or communists. Sometimes joking, sometimes not as much joking. But the scary thing is that a lot of these people on the left, like, although they may not be communists, they would prefer communism a million times over compared to like a center right or even like a moderate conservative platform. And so that's something that's pretty scary to think about. But the point I wanted to get at is that as Canadians, the states are our biggest trading partner, and we need them more than they need us. As in, the Canadians need the Americans more than the Americans need the Canadians, because if the Canadians cut off ties with the Americans, well, they would hardly lose anything, like barely anything. But if the Americans cut us off, well, then that's a big chunk of our trading. Like, that's a much bigger part of our trading partner. Of the percentage of the countries we're doing than the other way around. Now I don't know the exact percentages, but I know they're a lot bigger than we are to them, and for the simple reason that the States is a much bigger, more powerful country, and we're a much smaller, less powerful country. And the reason why we trade with them the most is that we share a border with them, so it's very close to move stuff back and forth. So, and the problem with it being is that Trump may very be like, oh, this Trudeau guy's a loss. I mean, considering the fact that he hasn't done it already, I'm a little skeptical, but maybe this is a last straw kind of thing, and he may be like, yeah, we're gonna tariff you guys, maybe we're gonna cut you off this thing or that thing or a bunch of things, and that massively hurts our economy, and which is going to lead to more jobs on top of the already massive amount of job cuts that we've had, mostly because of Justin Trudeau and leftist policies. So that's one aspect of it, and that's the Canadian aspect, that it's more than likely going to hurt us. It's just a matter of how much. And you never know, maybe Trudeau apologizes and Trump takes it, accepts it. And the one thing I would mention is that Trump has been very friendly, I would say overly friendly towards Justin Trudeau, and that's something that I think people need to commend him on. And that people think that Trump is this massive partisan, like dictator kind of guy, even though he's had every reason to throw Justin Trudeau under the bus, and he hasn't up to this point. And I mean, calling him two-faced isn't really throwing him under the bus, especially after something like this. So, and meanwhile, Justin Trudeau, I mean, Donald Trump's done nothing against Justin Trudeau, but Justin Trudeau throws him under the bus. So I think that says about all that needs to be said as far as that stuff goes. The other thing to get at it is that I think it shows just kind of more who Justin Trudeau is that he's not a man of integrity or any ethics or anything like that, and that for the simple reason that the other thing, politics aside, I don't care what you think of Trudeau or Trump. If you think of them as opposites, think of them as Trump as the liberal and Justin Trudeau as the conservative, and just be like, the kind of people that are the people that they're nice to your face, but they stab you in the, especially when they stab you in the back for no legitimate reason. Those kind of people are the most scummy, scum of the earth people. And I don't know anyone who disagrees with that other than those kind of people. And they need to be called out and they need to be seen for who they truly are, because this stuff's pretty despicable. And it just goes to show more of Justin Trudeau's true character, and it goes to show more of Trump's true character. That the big problem with a lot of these political fights and battles is that people, they tend to make up their minds and then do research. And if they do any research, most people don't. But if they do research, most people, they make up their minds and then they do research. Their research isn't really to change their mind or anything. So, and that's the thing with Trudeau and Trump, is that Canadians, even a lot of conservative Canadians, they hate Trump and they don't have any reasons behind it. Like they'll cite reasons that are like completely made up. It's that, oh, he's a racist, even though he's not a racist. He believes in enforcing immigration laws. Since when has been enforcing immigration laws been racist? Not only that, Obama supported enforcing those laws. Was Obama a racist? No, no one in the right mind is going to argue that. So therefore, Trump isn't. So all these things, they're just complete BS. And the whole point being is that it just goes to show, number one, I don't think anyone can look at this objectively and not be like, okay, well, Justin Trudeau clearly looks bad in this. I don't think anyone can argue this. And Donald Trump looks better, because like Donald Trump, like the every time they've talked, I mean, I think it was the Rebel Media guy. He was kind of, he tweeted at Trump. I think I don't quote me on it, but someone did this. I think it was a Canadian guy too, and he tweeted kind of negatively towards Trudeau at Trump, and Trump tweeted back at him saying, "Oh no, we actually had very good conversations," and he was very friendly, or something along those lines. So Trump, with, I wouldn't say every reason, but he could have easily been like, "Oh yeah, Trudeau's, he's an idiot," or whatever, but he didn't. And not only that, this is another thing you cannot argue, is that Donald Trump is the kind of guy he's not a backstabber. If he doesn't like someone, he'll come out, he'll do it on national TV if he has to. He'll probably tweet it, considering he's got like 100 million followers, but he'll tell you to your face. And like it or not, I would much rather be friends with and be friendly towards someone who's going to tell you how they really feel to your face, than you having to find out through someone else because he stabbed you in the back and told all your friends, and they, one of them that, wanted to do the right thing came and told you. So yeah, that's basically, I don't want to make this video too long. I mean, the takeaway point being, this is another strike on Justin Trudeau, and the problem is that he's got unlimited strikes because he's on the left, and it's something that it makes Trump look better, that he could have easily buried Trudeau a lot more than he did, but he didn't, and I think he did the right thing doing that, because Trump, he doesn't want to stoke tensions. Like he had every reason to stoke tensions between North Korea, between Russia. I mean, contrary to popular belief, he's not a Russian ascent or whatever conspiracy theory that the left is putting out there nowadays. North Korea, Russia, I mean, even the Ukraine, China, North Korea, and he hasn't done any of it. And not only that, Hillary was talking about how they were going to stoke tensions between Russia and between North Korea, and Trump has calmed those down. So, like I said, I mean, Canadians are very, very asleep on Trump. I don't think he's great, but you can't look at the record, economic numbers, job numbers, low unemployment, specifically minority unemployment, which is another fact disproving the fact that he's, thinking he's racist. And even if he is, he's the worst racist in the history of racists. Therefore, if he's a racist and his policies are implementing things that are the exact opposite of what a racist would want to do, well, you should let him keep going because he's doing a good thing for the people that you think he's hurting. But that's another story in and of itself. But yeah, I mean, Trudeau, terrible move on his part, and Trump, I do commend him for not going off too much, but moral of the story, let's just hope it doesn't hurt the Canadian economy too much, because if Trump wanted to, he could do a lot of damage to our economy, and it would really hurt us because we're already being hurt mostly by Justin Trudeau. So anyway, I'll leave it there. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.